Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Duels with our Grixis Brains deck. Let's get into the game, shall we? I'll see you there. And we're in. Okay, this hand looks pretty great. We have a turn 2 Brain in the jar and we have Nagging Thoughts as well. Yeah, looks like we've got some action here. So we'll lead off with the Evolving Wilds, thin our deck out a bit. Our opponent is Fromage, rank 39. And he is on red-blue. No. Thank you. I'm going to go get a blue mana. And then Sylph Falls, Brain in the jar. And pass the turn over. Now we can start knocking up our Brain in the jar counters. Try to get it to 6 as quickly as possible, and then we don't have to have as much mana in play to be able to do our combo. We do, however, need to fill our graveyard full of instants and sorceries by that time. So I think we Nagging Thoughts and grab a land if a land appears. I'm hoping the one does. Yeah, we have to take the untapped land though, because we want to Brain in the jar on the same turn. So that puts us up to 3. We don't have a black mana yet, so Radiant Flames isn't quite there yet. And Brain in the jar makes it the X 0 when you cast it without paying its mana cost. So we can't be doing that. He's tapped out, so we're just going to Brain in the jar counter. Say yes. And hopefully find some way of dealing with his Jace. Yeah, I've been thinking about how to correctly deal with Planeswalkers in this deck, because in Grixis there aren't many ways to do it. However, if we splashed a single white mana for an Anguished Unmaking package, I think that might be the play. Oh no, it's a mill deck. Oh dear, prepare to find out how badly this deck does against mill. I'll give you a hint. We self-mill a lot, so it's going to be really bad. No. Right, if he's going to do that, then we're going to disperse his tutelage and keep it off the battlefield for the turn so he doesn't mill us. Although, some aspects of the mill are good for us because we get the Rise from the Tides online very early. If he doesn't have any removal of any kind, then it's just fantastic. So we're just gonna play tap land, and yeah, just pass the turn back. We can Brain in the jar for 3 next turn, which means we can draw a card for 1 and tap down his Jace. He's gonna do it anyway, but it does mean that he doesn't get to loot with the tutelage, which saves us some mill. I say this deck doesn't do very well against mill. This is actually my first game against it, but when building it and noticing how much the sheer amount of self-milling we do, which is not our win condition, that's a Kalitas. Okay, so he's given up on milling us this turn, which is very odd. Not sure why he's running Kalitas in a mill deck. Let's Grip of the Royal it anyway. He's gonna loot with Jace, I'd imagine. Maybe he just likes the zombies that he gets from the Kalitas. And that's the part of the Water Veil. Right, we are happy for them to mill us to death right now, because once we get Brain in the jar to 6, part the Water Veil with 6 lands, or 7 lands technically, we've won. So I'm going to allow them to mill me as much as possible, and hopefully that means that we will ultimately destroy them, because we have all that we need right now. We can Radiant Flames if things get a bit out of hand. That's a Fleshbag Marauder. Yeah, that's useless. All his creature removal is useless against us with this current combo. So what's he going to do? Put the tutelage back down. Go on. I'm not sure why he wasn't so incredibly in a rush to put the tutelage back down. I imagine he thinks we're running counter spells, which we're not. But we did disperse it, so I mean, gives him reason to think that we dispersed it so we could counter it back. Play the tutelage. I actually want you to play it. That's fine, yeah. I could pause and terrify him a little bit, but I'm not going to do that. I'm a nice guy. So that's 4 counters. Next turn's 5. Turn after that is that we win. We don't have any 5 drops in our hand, so we won't be able to get any benefit from Brain in the Jar. I'm hoping he doesn't get rid of it either. If he gets rid of it, I'll be very upset. But I'm not sure. Ooh, lovely. I'm not sure what in those colours gets rid of artifacts. I'm sure there's probably one thing, but I can't think of it right now. So he's going to Fumarole. Okay. Well, we're going to tap down his Kalitas to stop him gaining life. Because if he is going to mill us, then we want him to be on as low life as possible. Alright, okay. Kalitas down, we get to draw a card. Loot with Jace, mill us a bit. Please do. I'm all for that. We get a land. Lands are great. That puts us in the mana range to do this. So yeah, he's just going to switch it. Do 4 damage to us, that's fine. And then mill us with his Jace. Actually flips the Jace. We forgot to Brain in the Jar, but I don't think it matters. And he forgot to loot, if he was ever going to do it. Let's Evolving Wilds, thin out our deck a bit. We want more instants and sorceries to fall into the graveyard, so we might as well. Okay, how many have we got in there so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 12 damage in there. Just going to pass the turn back. Could terrify him with the Fumarole. But we've got nothing to cast. Yeah, loot away. Good sir. That's a Radiant Flame's gone. He draws a card. Mills us for 2. We had 14 before, now we have 16. We do have Geist Blast, so we can double whatever we want to do. If that is what we want to do. And he hits a Fiery Impulse and a Rise from the Tides. And a piece of the puzzle. Oh, this is just coming into play so nicely now. Okay, so we're going to Brain in the Jar on his end step. We've got a Fumarole to block anything that's nasty, and I think he knows that. But we're not gonna, because anything short of killing us is fine. I think we've got this and he doesn't know it. Is he ticking it up or ticking it down? Ticking it up. A Chandra. Okay. He's going to zero her and super mill. No, he's going to go for damage. Okay. That too is absolutely fine. I would have preferred you millers. It does say draw that many cards, doesn't it? Yeah, draw that many cards, +1. Right, let's put a charge counter on Brain in the Jar. Take it up to 5. Yes, please. We also have a Drownyard Temple in here. So we're going to go grab that. He's completely tapped out. So we're going to do the math now to see if we can win. So, Drownyard. Catacombs. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 20 damage. He's tapped out. We've got this. So, brain in the jar. Yes, please. Rise from the tides. Part the water veil. Swing for 20. That's game. Oh, that got the heart pumping. So maybe actually this deck does really well against Mill. Who knew? 20 damage to your face. What you gonna do? Absolutely nothing. Woo! Alright guys, I'll see you in the next game. And we're in for our final game. Okay, 2 mana with a brain in the jar. Some expensive stuff, but with brain in the jar we should be able to get up to them in no time. And we are on the draw as well. Our opponent is Jew, rank 29. So if you guys have any deck ideas that you want me to play, I do have a few in the backlog, but if you want me to play some, then I might drop them off just to see what you're doing. I always like an interesting brew, so if you've got one, let me know. Okay, it looks like we're on mono white humans, which spells disaster, except for we've got a displacement wave. Okay, we want a blue mana. I just realised we had 2 tap lands as well, so we are not going to be able to get brain in the jar on our turn 2. Which is unfortunate. Unless we draw a land, which I'm desperately hoping for. That is not a land. Okay. So we have 2 of the 3 colours for Radiant Flames though. Radiant Flames yet again is another great mono white human destroyer. Swings for 3. Okay, so we're going to get brains down this turn. We're a little slow, which against humans is a bad thing. This looks like humans with an aura base. He's going to go grab. Hope against hope. Yeah, it gets 1/1/1 for each creature you control, and as long as it's human, it has first strike. Well, whatever he puts that on, if it's not Heliod's Pilgrim, we can displacement wave for 2 and it'll drop off when we've got the mana to do that, that is anyway. But we don't. So he could make his knight a 5/5, attack for 7, maybe 8 if he has another 1-drop creature. Oh, he's putting it on the one that I didn't want him to put it on. Okay. Yeah, I suppose it does give first strike to other humans, so he's losing a little bit of synergy by putting it on a creature that already has it. I think we're just going to get rushed out here, though. What does that change to us? Well, it means we can Radiant Flames for 3. Knocks that down to each creature you control. So it counts itself. So it's going to be a 2/3 with first strike after I blow up his board. We have plenty of Grip of the Royals to keep it down for a while. I don't trust that we don't get like an Always Watching or something like that that will spell the end of this game for us. So we are going to Radiant Flames for 3. Oh, yes, of course. Takes it down to a 2/3, which means that the damage from the Radiant Flames is a board wipe. Silly me. I don't always catch these things. He's going to put down another Pilgrim though. Probably going to go get another one. Hope against hope. Can't cast it this turn though, because it is 3 mana. And we do have Grip of the Royals now. And another Radiant Flames. Right. Do we want to start braining the Jarring, or do we want to get pieces of the puzzle? Or even just Grip of the Royal? Tough decision. Well, he makes this thing a 2-3, maybe even a 3-4 with another creature. I think we're going to pieces the puzzle. We're going to start the self-mill. Need to get on it soon. And I'd like to get the part of the Water Veil. Lovely. And a Geist Blast in the bin as well. We are set up for victory now. We just have to stay alive. Right, I'm going to throw away... Which of these doesn't help me? I guess Possess Scabs, since we've got all this stuff anyway. That might be a mistake, because that does somewhat count as 2 of the rest of them. Thalia's Lieutenant, okay. And Hope against Hope. Swing for 4. Do we want to wipe his board again? Don't think it works this time, does it? It was 1-2, 2-3 baseline. Yeah, he's a 3-4 base. But we can Grip of the Royal it. I'm not sure. I think we just pass the turn over and Grip of the Royal it, and hopefully start drawing into some stuff. Throw away the Geist Blast since we can use it in our graveyard. We just haven't hit lands this turn. This game, should I say. And it is screwing us over. And there's a land. So we're getting hit for 1. Is he going to fill up his board? No, he's just going to pass the turn. I think he knows he's got lethal, so why bother? And rightly so. Right, if we play the island, we can still Grip and Brain in the Jar counter. Yeah, I think that's what we do. Start ticking up the Brain. I don't think Brain's going to be a big factor in this game since we're on such a low life total. I'm just going to tap it down again. Hopefully he ain't got pump that I don't know about, because that would have been a stupid play then. Nope. Okay. Just going to pass the turn, so we're going to put a charge counter down. Keep that Pilgrim down as long as possible. Just long enough to get Displacement Wave online to bounce it away. So we can Displacement Wave for 3. Yeah. Next turn we can Radiant Flames and Geist Blast count. Geist Blast double it. He's at 3. Do we have to bounce his stuff? I think we have to bounce his stuff. Yeah. That actually throws away our Brain in the Jar as well. We're just being aggroed out here and we can't keep up. Hopefully though, he plays it a little bit differently and we get a Radiant Flames in to wipe what he's got. Goes against a Hope against Hope. Nimbus Wings. Makes it 2-4. That keeps it out of Radiant Flames range. If we hit an untapped land, we can double Radiant Flames though. Expedition Envoy. And Thalia's Lieutenant, we're going to wipe his board. Consider your board wiped, sir. Goodbye. We drown Yard Temple, brain in the jar, and we can put a counter on it. So he has a Nimbus Wings in hand. I think that's all we know about his hand. Knight of the White Orchid doesn't get him a plains. So we're on 4, 5, 6. He's gonna Nimbus Wings that. That might do it. Pieces of the puzzle. Brain in the jar, nagging thoughts. Then we've got 5 mana left up. Piece of the puzzle doesn't get us to disperse because it's bugged. Take an extra turn, but don't think that does us any good. Let's nagging thoughts for 1. Yes, please. Thank you. Disperse. Oh, that does it. That helps. Right, now we can pieces of the puzzle holding up disperse. We hit nothing. We would have hit a fiery impulse, but we couldn't use it anyway, so I'm not that fussed. And then we're just going to pass the turn over. Hold up this disperse to get rid of his knight. Swings in. Okay. Disperse it away. Drops off the Nimbus Wings as well. Which means that Fiery Impulse technically would have been quite useful. Knight comes in. Don't think it gets him a land. Oh, it does. So we actually just ramped him a little bit there. Not much we could have done. We'd have lost if we didn't anyway. Hope against hope. We need removal. That is not removal. Land. We're 1 mana short of double part the Water Veil. If he has a Nimbus Wings, I'm thinking of blocking it with a Fumarole, but if he has a Nimbus Wings, we just lose. But I think if he had one, we'd lose anyway. Right? Yeah. Okay, let's pass the turn back. We're going to block with Fumarole. He did fetch that Nimbus Wings, so it didn't come from his hands, and he didn't shoot a 1-up as far as we're aware. So he's going to swing in. We're going to create our man land. I think if we get a land, we win. Celestial Flare. Well, that means that we don't win. I'm going to put charge counter on that anyway. We are staying alive for an extra turn. Yeah. Lose a land. If we can get this up to 6 counters as well, that means we win. So now we need 2 lands or this to 6 to win. Rise from the Tides doesn't do it. We're forced to blow away our part of the Water Veil. So there's nothing we can do. Yeah. So part of the Water Veil. Put a charge counter on Brain. Yes, please. I think that's just it, short of a removal spell. Yep, that's going to be game. Oh, that's annoying. Well, let's just rise from the tides, showing what we were going to do. There's 14 2/2s. That would have been lethal. Thing I love about this deck is it either wins or it comes so close to winning. But that's going to be it. GG. That's going to do it for this week's Magic Duels content. If you like what you see, be sure to leave a like. If you love what you see, be sure to subscribe. And if you're not quite sure, stay for the end card, see the rest of the content that we've got to offer. And as always, I'll see you later.